you worry. And thankfully, we are going to be saved by the ban and pick, as it is upon us.
Bans and picks.
Bans and picks, sorry. There are multiple of each.
There's multiple, right?
I need to learn how to pluralize my words. Freeca Freecs, they've had enough of that. Rek'Sai character, they are going to ban it away from Cuz. The answer is going to be the Kalista here, as Kingzone return to the red side once again. See whether they once again leave up the Jace as well.
Well, LeBlanc now being banned away against Pawn. We'll see if Yasuo bites the dust.
Well, I like the adjustment that Kingzone have made. They're banning Jace. Good.
Good.
Solid.
Now they're thinking they can get away with it, and their plans won't be foiled.
Yeah.
Vayne. Uh-oh, they might actually be trying.
Is this going to be the first pick Galio from the Afreeca Freecs? And they're like, none of your pesky counter picks in the mid lane, boys. Oh, dear.
All right, well, maybe this actually draws. It does. It draws the Galio ban.
This is the most next level. As Afreeca, do they deny the Rise or just pick the Lissandra?
And now they get Lissandra.
Yeah. I mean, that was always going to be the question. Pawn can just jump straight back on the Rise, and I think this is a great response pick for Kingzone. And now we'll see what Kingzone are going to pick up elsewhere. Tucson going to go back to Thomas Kench on the bottom side of the map and try and lick himself up some kill steals on this champion instead.
Look at Thomas's win rate. Amazing.
Beautiful.
Absolutely just fantastic.
That's why LS so comfortably wakes up in the morning. He's like, another day. Another Tom Kench day.
No, he has a boat in his splash art. That's going to be a yacht soon.
Oh, yeah.
With a win rate like that.
Bringing home the bacon.
Oh,
Don't
yeah.
you worry. Okay, Dread is going to pick away the Gragas from Kingzone. That is going to be that bottom lane that we saw be so incredibly good. Elsewhere, Aiming and Jelly going to be piloting it this time around. It was Deft and Tucson that were able to get a very fast first blood against Griffin in their first matchup. As Pawn isn't going to lock away the Yasuo, he is going to pick up the Ezreal.
And so now that safe bottom lane, but it doesn't have to be safe when Deft is the one behind Ezreal.
Also doesn't have to be the bottom lane, as Dread can be piloting the Gragas in the jungle. So a lot of flexibility here for the Afreeca Freecs thus far.
Move into the second ban phase here. Probably just going to, I was going to say pinch the jungle pool away. The Kha'Zix is a little bit bizarre of a ban. Ezreal gets the Iceborne Gauntlet, Ryze has the Aftershock, and you have the Tahm Kench as well. So Kha'Zix, a little bit of an interesting ban away.
Well, it's also it's one of Dread's favorite champions,
Yeah.
so just maybe stop him from defaulting to Comfort. And it might just be that Kuz has a specific champion in mind and doesn't want to have to deal with Kha'Zix.
We'll see what ends up happening next here.
Yep.
As the final ban for Kingzone.
Kingzone's draft is extraordinarily flexible at this particular stage, so about anything can happen here. Last ban for the Afreeca Freecs, they could aim it towards the top side of the map or try and pinch that jungle further, and it's going to be the Gangplank banned away from Rascal. Wonder what that means for Keen's preferred choice on the top side. Not a lot of... I don't know whether I would ever pick Gangplank into Keen, ever. I just think that that sounds too dangerous.
Yeah. Well, we shall see what is going to go on here. Oh, that might be Camille in the jungle. It could be top.
It could be. And Rascal has been one of the players that has decided to default to that particular pick on the top side of the map. He's played it a couple of times so far. 100% win rate on the champion. Not too bad. See whether this is Keen's pick or Sun's pick in the mid lane, as the Akali is being hovered and locked in for the Afreeca Freecs. Still so much flexibility for this squad. Dread, pretty comfortable J4 pickup, and now Kingzone have to reveal their hand. Where is that Camille going? Where is the Rise going?
Yeah. What will be the final pick for Kingzone now as they're looking to round out this draft? And like you just mentioned, there's a lot of flexibility on the side of Afreeca.
I mean, they could just lock in Aurelia if they want to. I mean, throw that towards the top side of the map. You've got Kuz on the Camille in the jungle. Kenny is going to be the lock-in here, so Rascal's going to go back to it. He's had some pretty good flanks on the Kennen thus far. He's only played it once, but it was to a victory. The last time out was relatively recent also. see where everything is going to be going, as we could theoretically get a cannon in the mid lane. LS is dying next to me, unfortunately, so it might be a solo cast. As Pawn is going to be most likely on this rise. We'll have to wait until 20 seconds ticks down, but Chongo didn't have a great time on the old mid cannon, and the matchup into Lissandra is fantastic for the rise.
Yep. We'll have to see what they end up doing. Maybe Keen, once the game starts, just says, you know what, give me mid lane. I'll go there. Hachu. I don't know what that means.
I think it might have been a Deft reference. I don't know. That was a Kingzone fan, though.
It was, yeah. As the coaches step off the stage, we are about to take one last look at the team compositions and what they want to do. Kaisa, Gragas, Lissandra, J4, and Akali on the side for Afreeca. Team composition has a little bit of a slow start.
Yeah.
Waiting for their first and second items. Heavy reliance on team fighting. No split push avenue for these guys. As on the flip side for Kingzone, we see Kennen, Camille, Ryze, Ezreal for Deft. Probably the best Ezreal player in the LCK.
I think of all time.
And
although Weijiao does exist.
Sir Thomas Kench.
Sir Thomas Kench. He got a
lane.
knighthood over the last, like, what?
Over the last
few hours?
5 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
They didn't show her on camera, but the queen is here.
Uh-huh,
right, so
well. Okay, well, you heard it here first, guys. Sir Thomas Kench.
That needs to be a skin. He needs like a teacup with like the monocle.
All right, let's think about it while the fans cheer. All right, we're all tied up here as Sir Thomas Kench is on the rift. You can see making some delicious food on the bottom side of the map. No money for you, Deft.
That's Thomas Ramsey.
Thomas Ramsey?
Yeah.
Gordon Kench?
Gordon Kench. That one's a lot better.
Yeah, Gordon Kench.
That almost sounds like, yeah, Gordon Kench is definitely better. Oh, man. All right. Gordon Kench down here in the bottom lane.
Goes Poro, gives all the information. Oh, there we go. Deft doesn't actually lock down too much there as far as getting himself some items, but otherwise it's good news. Tucson ready to lick someone. Gets it off onto Jelly. And that was a weird Mystic shot, Deft. He's just still getting his... It's a warning shot.
That's what it is.
Yep.
It's like the Eminem song.
Mm-hmm. Damn, Tucson is very accurate with his tongue.
Yeah?
Yeah. He's managed to lick Jelly twice.
Yeah, he has?
Yeah.
All right.
Why are you giggling? Exactly what he just did.
That is what he
has
did.
an ability called Tongue Lash, okay?
Do you think he likes the taste?
I think so.
He's got a taste for blood.
He does have a taste for blood.
He's also got a Ghost Poro.
He does. And he's got a spellbook.
He does have a spellbook.
Which is unsealed. He can be teleporting down to this bottom lane if he wants to.
What do you think a sealed spellbook looks like? Do you think that a sealed spellbook is worth more?
Well, you can see that the book is open. I think the sealed spellbook would be closed with one of those locks on it.
Is it like first edition or
like
is it a second edition?
Ooh, I don't know. Maybe first.
We're going to have to take it to Rick.
Yeah.
The pawn shop.
That's true. Well, cuz he's found him. Sun is just dead as Pawn picks it up with an aftershock proc.
That was quite impressive. That was solo queue at its finest.
And that's exactly what needs to happen for Kingzone, because Cuz is playing the Camille that doesn't stun the creeps anymore.
Yeah.
And so you have to gank, otherwise you're basically useless.
And so now what is happening here in this game is mid lane is off to a fantastic start. Ryze with that first blood, Camille getting first blood assist.
Yep.
Gonna be able to transition over onto the left-hand side. I really like what Sun is doing right now, though. Comes in, towards the Brust. Not sure if Cuz saw that. Oh, man. This is a flip if Lissandra was gonna stay, trying to steal away the blue. But instead doesn't decide to risk it. Taps right back into mid, and they did know about the ward.
Yeah, they're going to be able to pick this one up. Rascal comes down. That's going to be Cuz getting all of his health back there. His tactical sweep is going to miss. We weren't.
Well, missed Agatha.
Sorry, Cuz. Yeah.
You know, you can't expect to hit her with that.
Yeah, it's true. It's a tough one.
As we take
She's
a
lost
look
some weight.
At how this actually ends up happening, and this is the vision.
Ah, sees the standard.
Yeah. just manages to get right outside the edge. It was a really nice rune prison. And this is such a...
Don't need to translate that one, guys. That was just things going well. Yep, just giving the information as well. Might be in our blue buff, so... Good heads-up play. That was exactly where Dread was at the time.
As now coming back into the live game here, Deft he's farming up.
At the moment, it's actually a lot of control here over to the Afreeca Freecs. Red pot picked up there by Deft is a good one. But I think that Deft probably wants to get himself a Sheen before he's going to be really comfortable. Misses the W there and even ease. Regardless, that's how confident he is about hitting his skill shots. Even if he misses, he's already skilled up the next one. Ninja battle on the top side of the map here between Kennen and Akali.
Well, who do you think's the better ninja?
I think the Lightning Ninja makes more sense to me because that feels like you're running faster. I don't think Fire is necessarily a ninja type as Arkeen has taken the Infernal Akali. Kingzone have a ward here in this brush bottom side, but they've also got a lot of minions, so they might actually want to fight. Jelly takes a lot of damage, down to about 300. Dread walks in, but Kingzone may have actually been baited. Dread comes forward, hasn't used the flag and drag just yet as Cuz comes down. That's a great stun, and just destroys aiming with the help of Pawn, who teleported in. Kingzone just have all the answers this game.
Yeah, Kingzone is playing as if they can read everything that Afreeca wants to do, but there also seem to be some miscommunication there.
Yeah, the flash in, the lick there from Tucson as Pawn's been ignited. That's a great devour from Tucson to get him in there. He's already used the flash though. Grey health comes down, Cuz waiting for a hookshot opportunity, aiming flashes, picks up that kill after the teleport. Dread's gonna get taken down though, and the Rise getting the follow-up kill is great news. Def now completely out of mana, and they will need to back away. Very hypey play here from both teams bottom lane.
Yeah, and it ends up being a 1-for-1 in the end right there. But Pawn now with 3 kills on this Rise. He's going to be the one in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
In mid lane. We're going to take another quick look at this. And so, look at the lane state positioning. There's so many spellcaster minions. Jelly doesn't commit the flash to get the knockup onto Tushin and Deft, figuring they probably just don't have enough to actually get the kill. The teleports come in, everything's looking really clean here for Kingzone, but then you can see Cuz is leaving, Def doesn't have any mana, and then watch what Pawn ends up doing. He flashes forward onto Sun, but no one was on the same page. Look at where Cuz was going.
Yeah, I mean, Tucson did eventually get there, but yeah, that wasn't exactly the rest of the team.
Meanwhile, in live,
yeah, meanwhile in the mid lane, we've got Dread coming on down, but Pawn is so incredibly tanky right now. He's got the passive, even the Devour, slicing Maelstrom from the cannon, picks up a double kill, but Keen, he's going to be there. Double kill in return for the Afreeca Freecs, and if he's tricky enough, he should be able to flash away and does so. Great turnaround from the Afreeca Freecs, but still a lot of damage from Kingzone.
Definitely a series of trades are unfolding in this game, and it's very action-packed. We've had 9 kills here at 7 minutes.
Yeah, it's actually a lot of gold on this map at the moment with the amount of kills that have gone back and forth. But most important for Kingzone fans is the fact that Pawn didn't go down. So that bounty gold is not in there as Deft. On the bottom side, he got a solo kill in the meantime.
He got himself a nice little solo kill right there.
That's what happens. He's like, no, Tucson, back. No,
everyone
this is my kill.
So chaotic this game. You can see they lock up the Rise. The teleport from Keen is honestly a little bit late right here. Pawn going forward ends up getting himself a shield, gets into Tushin's belly. As Rascal able to come in there with a slicing Maelstrom, and slice it did do. As he managed to pick himself up a double kill. Close, but no cigar right there.
Yeah.
Rise was on Keen, almost managed to pick up that kill as well.
And Deft wanted to try and find some of the stray skill shots, but Keen had great footwork there. In his Shroud, keeps him alive. The new and improved Shroud here on 9.5. It's been a very exciting game. Already, 2,000 gold is approximately the lead for Kingzone at 8 minutes. Shelly's going to join us in a couple of those. See who's going to be able to get priority on that top side. It's 4 assists for the Camille, and weirdly enough, I mean, you look at junglers and you think, no, you shouldn't be taking kills. However, I think Camille is one of those junglers that probably wants to, right? Getting a little bit of extra money for the Camille is definitely a good thing, given the fact that she doesn't farm as well as she used to. Still does have the farming speed, I guess, but not on the Rift Scuttlers that you need to be able to CC. She used to be great, now she's terrible at taking down those particular little guys.
And right now in this game, a plate looking to get picked up here by Deft in bottom lane, aiming, taking enormous amounts of damage.
And just abuse from Deft's Ezreal. He's 10 CS in the lead, he's got the Klepto, and therefore he's 700 gold ahead. Stacking up that tier, he even got the extra Sapphire Crystal as Jelly just seems to be a magnet. Cuz is clearing out vision, and Afreeca have no right to head up towards these minions.
Holding Sun back.
Yeah, and now he has to just get back to the mid lane. Dread's going to come down, but that is going to be an even trade as Deft is happily just tanking up turret shots to try and get more pot shots on these Mystic shots. I said shot about 600 times, but it was in unique ways. The Afreeca Freecs just taking all of them from King's Zone, bottom side of the map. Could be another turret plate to go down here as Dread comes on in. Aiming doesn't have the teleport. King's Zone are going to pick up about everything as Deft is a one-man wrecking crew against two members of the Afreeca Freecs underneath this turret. He's very good at this champion, LS.
He is. I mean, he's all right.
Yeah.
You know?
Wait, not impressed?
Not impressed yet.
Okay.
You know?
We'll see how he goes. Needs another couple of solo kills, maybe?
Just a couple.
All right.
Also needs top damage in the game.
Well, I mean, he's Ezreal.
Let's see if he can get there.
See. We'll see. Are you in doubt at all?
I am, because Pawn is having such an explosive performance here. But
yeah, he is.
Deft is getting a lot of poke damage down inside of this laning phase. So we'll see what ends up happening here. As King's Zone, they find themselves with a 2.1k gold lead here. Vision trying to be cleared out right now. And I think that probably is all on the agenda for King's Zone, is letting Deft get back into bottom lane. He'll have teleport available. Cuz is in close proximity.
Yeah, Rascal doesn't have his flash available. Gets a good stun as Keen uses his ult to close the distance. Sun's going to go down in trade though as Cuz gets on in here. Dread looking for this kill, but the turret shot! He uses his stopwatch. It's a double kill for Keen, and Dread walks away. Tucson looking to eat the Jarvan though, and should be able to do it. Flash does come in. Tucson fails it completely. Keen waiting for his Twilight Shroud. He can be tricky now, as Pawn will find him. There's the Rune Prison. The Chicken's going to block some of these skill shots and gets the extra movement speed. True Shot Barrage not going to find him, but will it find Dread? It does. But Agatha's there. She's going to be able to help out. Was that Bertha? No, it's Agatha.
That's Agatha.
Yep.
A and B. It's like alpha, beta.
Ah,
you know?
Perfect.
That's how that works.
Well, Keen makes the great escape.
Oh man,
Jelly in trade.
Maybe he wants to make a flash play here onto Deft.
Yep, throws out the barrel. Deft still has the E up though, so Jelly's not going to be able to find it just there. Arcane Shift does a lot of damage after the W connects. Deft just loses a little bit of his health bar.
Deft now coming in, getting more poke.
So
as honestly, Afreeca, they're looking like they're starting to stabilize across the map, and Keen's 4-0 on Akali.
Almost has his Gunblade completed, and that is such a huge power spike for this champion. She can be so tricky and Deft. It's going to be way too hard, I think, in late-game teamfights for him to consistently avoid the damage.
Teleport.
And now Keen is looking to make his way in. Sun, sorry, is going to make his way forward. Tucson, can he get out of the way here? Does have the Grey health, but he dies before he can even use it. True Shot Barrage comes in. Deft at least lands that one. Frozen Thrall does a lot of damage as Cuz gets on down, but Dread is in position to stop any sort of counter gank from being possible. Deft will be able to clear out this minion wave just fine, and Jelly gets himself into this brush. Afreeca Freecs get one back for free on the bottom side.
And I think well, before we talk about that, we'll take a look at this. Sun is all over the place. For a Lissandra that got first blooded so early on and had so many mishaps going her way, he has been all over the place this game with the teleports, with the roams. Afreeca right here, Dread, certainly should have died. You can easily just flash Tom Kench right there, get the last auto attack before Dread, and then eat him. Not quite. Teleport even coming in from Sun right here. And look on the minimap at how slow Pawn is shoving in the wave and the direction that he's moving, clearly not identifying that he can't get there to help out. Wasting a lot of time, not getting plate chip damage. Only 2 plates have been taken in mid lane.
Yeah, exactly, and it feels like Pawn has had such a huge advantage. He's 3-0 and 2 still. But that hasn't changed for quite some time, and the farm is completely even. There in the mid lane, you can see he's got a whole lot of extra money, but you got to use it. So far, he hasn't been able to. Teleport to come in as Deft, he wants to set up shop in the mid lane. It's his turn now. He's going to give Pawn the side lane. It's going to be hard to go up against this Rise, but the Realm Warp isn't going to be as useful as he's about to hit level 11 and will have some extra range on it. Mid lane is a great position to set yourself up there, but the Ezreal's the same. He's actually going to pick up this minion wave. That aiming shoved on forward, he just teleported back to his lane as well. Keen, with his TP up, 14.5 minutes into this game means that Shelly's lost a little bit of her relevance.
Well, 2,000 gold still is the lead here for Kingzone.
And they managed to get 0 turret plates.
Yeah.
This time around, so that's just a free 800 gold lead here for Kingzone by having more control in this laning phase. Deft comes down. Rift Scuttler is going to burn to death as Dread is spotted. Good hook shot comes in as Jelly takes a lot of damage. Tucson can eat his grey health and does so. As the Hextech Ultimatum is down, Dread falls as well, but that's a very low cousin. Keen is going to pick up that kill. That's his 5th as Rascal dives onto Jelly, but finds no joy. And now Sun with a full health bar dives forward. Tucson with the heroic use of his Devour. Grey health is going to be there. Pawn comes down, you can see. Look at the low health bars of the Afreeca Freecs, the explosion. The double kill for Deft as the Frozen Thralls are not going to be coming in now. Tucson with the Abyssal Voyage. Keen is in the Twilight Shroud, and Deft is looking for him. The licks come in. Keen's looking for one more. Rascal gonna tank up the turret. The Q, not enough energy.
He really is the final boss of Afreeca.
My God. Just insane. He is the only carry on this team right now. And he's doing his very best to solo win this game. It's not going to work. 3-0-4 now for Deft. 4-0-4 for the Rise in the hands of Pawn.
And how this all ends up happening. It started with a beautiful cast by Jelly. Teleport coming down. Tushin having to use his Grey Health north in the fight. Dread goes down very early. Cuz taking a lot of damage. Assassinated by Keen. Pawn not quite able to finish off anyone there. Slicing Maelstrom whiffed onto everyone. And then Sun really greeting on his ultimate, ended up locking up Pawn in the end, and then that was the exact thing that Kingzone needed to start turning it all around. Right here, no more flashes available. Abyssal Voyage to try to sandwich.
All right, another fight as Cuz gets a free flash to get himself out of there. I don't think he's even going to burn down to this Igniters now. Afreeca Freecs are looking for this fight, but the Slicing Maelstrom happens one more time. He's now using it in the belly of Tucson. That keeps the Rascal alive. As Rise looking for more, but Keen once again launches himself into the backline. Tucson with a great flash as Rascal's looking for it. One more will get there. Meanwhile, it's a triple kill as Pawn uses the Realm Warp to try and chase after Keen. Wants to turn it and does so. Picks up the kill under the cannon. Honey fruit being eaten here from Tucson as Pawn. He will be able to soak one Q from Keen, but it's another Twilight Shroud. Cuz looking for more tactical sweep. Finally finishes off the Akali.
And I mean, I don't even know what to say. The Akali moves have been so fantastic.
Oh man, he's so good at this video game, LS. But it's so sad because they're still falling further and further behind. Shelly might be a good news story here for the Afreeca Freecs.
It really just feels like Game 1 and Game 3 of this series is a testament to just how good Keen is.
Oh yeah.
As a player, he's the best top laner in the LCK, and he's trying his best right now to drag his team across the finish line here. He has 7 of the 9 kills.
Yep. And they're all after Kingzone finds engages that have actually been pretty impressive, right?
Yeah.
Like Rascal's hitting ultimates that Kennon's dream of, but then Keen's just diving through them.
Going Death Cap second. He's about to put on his big boy hat.
Yep.
As we take a look at how this all ends up starting. So Afreeca end up getting the Mountain Drake because looked like he was going to go down, but Dread wanted to hold his flash. So not chasing him. Cataclysm still saved.
The slicing maelstrom was so cute, and right into the belly of Tom Kench there as well. It's real nice. My God, the damage out of this Akali.
Yeah, everyone having to flash away. And just look at his moves when Kennen he dodges a shuriken right there, and then he says, you know what, I'll land a shuriken of my own. Thank you very much.
And gets the extra movement speed from the passive, as well as we're fighting once again. Abyssal Voyage, but Pawn is already so low. They pick up the kill. It goes over to Dread as Kingzone just can't get in there in time.
And now, Shelly gonna be summoned in mid lane. Afreeca, they have momentum on their side.
This might be the turnaround. Tempo is a gigantic thing here in League of Legends. Shelly will get the first charge, doesn't actually do anything as she's looking for her second. Cataclysm gets both Deft and Tucson, but Dread may have gone too far. And by may, I mean definitely did. True Shot Barrage over 2. Aiming is too low. Keen also struggling. And so Kuz split pushing on the Camille at this stage. And Pawn's death timer is gigantic because he's such high level already.
Yeah. Well, level 12 there on Pawn. He's just going to finally respawn. He has teleport available, but definitely Dread, the weirdest thing, he saved his Cataclysm until next year in the Dragon fight. But right here, he was all too eager to use it. Like he was a day late for an appointment. So I'm not,
he literally was.
like, I'm not quite sure what was going on here. We'll take
like, see, guys, I did use my Cataclysm.
It's on cooldown. He's starts spamming it.
Well, that was a great flash after the Flag and Dragon from Dread.
And that was a great Gragas ultimate as well to really ensure that they capitalized, made sure to bring Pawn down. They separated some of the members. Afreeca win here in the crowd. Yeah. She is praying. She's hoping. She's going to cry.
Are Afreeca fans actually Afreeca fans, or are they just Keen fans?
I thought you were going somewhere else with that.
I feel like I
thought you were about to ask if they were Mouse.
No, those are KT fans, obviously. Right. Come on. Keep up.
All right, I'm trying to keep up. The game is very chaotic. 26 kills.
Yeah, and there's a really cool hat on Kane now. He's got the Rabbidan's Death Cap, item number 2. This guy, big boy
fedora.
pants.
Oh, yes. He is.
Big boy hat, sorry.
Big boy hat. Do you think that he puts on his robe and wizard's hat before he enters the fight?
And then he shoots people with a gun.
Does he roll a d20?
I think so. All too easy.
All right,
he's the guy that says he's going to roll a d20 and then does, you know? And like just gets the easy natural 20s.
Well, here in this game, Keen is the sole hope still for Afreeca. This is looking like a Twitter photo that someone posts after an angry solo queue game. You just can't climb.
Oh my God, yes it is. Hashtag reset ranked.
Reset LCS.
Yeah. Reset the LCK.
Reset LCK.
I mean, we're pretty early in the season, so we may as well reset it. Let's just do it again, guys. All right, Mountain Drake going down very, very quickly. That'll be the first for Kingzone DragonX. Afreeca grabbed the first one of the game.
King down there in bottom lane. I'm not even sure if Pawn wants to go toe-to-toe with him, but it doesn't seem like Keen is too keen on trying to see if that is a match that he can win right now.
Cute Punt liked it.
You like that?
Yeah. We'll almost have Ginsu's Rage Blade completed here as Aiming has moved back to a different build. Press the Attack is in there, and Storm Razor was item number 1 after the buffs. Does help to get you your upgrades faster. As far as evolutions are concerned, still need that Doran's Blade, but he's got one. And he's only 8 CS behind, so the Kaiser is definitely in scaling territory. And that second item comes in, he will be very strong. Checking out total damage dealt. It's a big number here for Deft.
Yep. He is doing. He's coming for it. He's coming for the impress.
Oh yeah.
At the very end.
Well, he's not going to be impressed if the Flag and Drag lands onto the Ezreal. As great slow comes in from the Tongue Lash. Follow up with the Q there as Aiming uses the Supercharger, gets himself invisible.
One auto attack remaining on that mid-tier 1 turret. Kingzone, 4.5k gold lead here, but you can see that Afreeca. Oh man, Kuz.
I think he's out of vision actually.
I don't think he knows.
Oh my goodness,
the
Lord
he might
does
go
down. Yep, hook shots in. Is going to be able to get the stun there onto Dread. Flash immediately out there from Sun. As teleport comes through from Rascal. Pawns here in the mid lane. They do manage to take down this turret as Jelly tanks up a Mystic Shard. Does a lot of damage. Kingzone now, they really want to fight. You can feel it. The Afreeca Freecs say no.
Blade of the Ruin King potentially will be the item of choice for the Ezreal. Not entirely sure. Maybe he does just go into the Gunblade, but Hex Trinker as well, because that just shows how afraid he is of the damage that Akali can dish out.
Barrage, not enough. What was that?
Thought it was going to get it.
Yeah, I know. So did I. But then a Q happened.
I'm just going to get it, Atlas. Stop bullying me on the
I'm not bullying you. Don't be like that. All right. Deft has his Blade of the Ruin King now completed, so it wasn't the Gunblade. You had your question answered very, very early on. Stred just eats himself some honey fruit, leaves the last one. As Banshee's Veil was picked up by Rascal, who wants to be able to keep himself alive against Keen, but also stop himself from being immediately booped out of a team fight by this Gragas that can be so pivotal in these team fights of dealing with the slicing Maelstrom. Waiting for that cooldown before you engage as the cannon is going to be important. You can see the gold lead is only extending here for Kingzone up to 5,000, but it's not accelerating as quickly as it was in game number 2.
Right. And now here at 25 minutes, 2 minutes until another Mountain Drake ends up spawning, and we're in a pseudo-lull state. Basically, if Deft can manage to lay down enough poke onto an important member of Afreeca, they can easily convert into a Baron, and that's what the tug of war is all about right now. On is going to go over and get his blue buff. Afreeca going to try to keep the waves shoved as they continue to try to scale up, but honestly,
all right, Deft.
Most of their champions are the same now.
Arcane shifting forward, has to use his flash to get himself out of there. He's going to get devoured too soon. He spat him over the wall on the wrong side, but you can see Cuz doing a lot of damage. The last Acathian Rain not going to be enough, as the red buff does burn down. Keen now finds his way into this fight. Realm Warp gets Pawn out of trouble, but Rascal is well and truly in it. Aiming, one more auto, and Pawn picks up the kill, flashes forward, make that a double for the Rise. And Deft may have died, but Pawn's still up, and he's 9-1-4.
And I think they can just get the Baron. Rise is one of the few champions in the game that has immunity against the Baron because of how often he's able to just get his shield going, although it doesn't look too immune right now. But with that Mountain Drake.
All right, Keen, what can you get done? He dives his way into the pit. Twilight Shroud's on the wrong side, unfortunately. Probably wanted to use that in the Baron pit, but it is going to go down. Cuz is now looking for Keen. Gunblade goes down as Deft finds his way back forward. W barely scratching onto Keen. As Cuz, that was a bait and switch. He definitely would have died, I think. So, good idea not to go in. Don't bite off more than you can chew.
Let's take another quick look at this fight. It looked like it had started off so great for Afreeca. You can see the Cataclysm will come in with the Lissandra. Actually, it doesn't come in. He's holding it till next year again. So, yeah, the Lissandra ultimate comes in right away. They get Deft very early on. And then the Slicing Maelstrom ends up taking down Jelly, aiming. He was taking a quick visit to Japan, I guess. I'm not quite sure where he was going, all the way over onto the right-hand side of the team fight. But then Realm Warp, Pawn able to get onto him, and then Sun soon thereafter. They weren't able to get as much as they should have. And again, I watched that fight, and I can't help but feel like Dread is playing these fights really poorly.
Well, they're going to get sandwiched right now. It's a great hookshot stun onto Dread, who immediately uses the Gargoyle Stone Plate Depth in the Devour, though, and now he can free hit on the backside. The first kill goes down. The Slicing Maelstrom in the backline, and aiming is just evaporating. He cannot stay alive in these fights at all, as Cuz, he looks like a solo laner on this Camille right now as Keen. He just cannot do it. There's the hookshot, and there's the second hit of the E, and a very dead Akali.
And that's going to be all that she wrote here for Afreeca in game number 3. The one takeaway, though, is that they did get at least a game off of Kingzone.
Yeah.
Which is a point that they're able to save, which everything matters right now for Afreeca and KT.
It definitely does. And Sandbox, they just got a 2-0. In our first matchup, Kingzone were only able to get one. So certainly good news as far as the top of the standings. Afreeca was still able to impact it. But this could be bad news for KT fans, just because one win means that the numbers start to separate between Afreeca and KT.
And you have to wonder what Afreeca are thinking after these games and how Keen feels as well. He was trying so hard. I really feel like Game 3 just exemplifies how good of a player he really is. Yes, Kingzone did just win, but he did make it very difficult for them at certain points, and Pawn had a really nice mid to late game wake up on the rise. He got really fed early on, did nothing, but then came back.
Yeah, he had one of those lull states that you were talking about, where he was thinking about previous inting that he'd done and wanting to avoid it, and then came out of the meditation and smashed the Afreeca Freecs. It was a fantastic performance by Pawn in the mid lane. You don't really see gigantic kill scores like that. These days, often it's much more reserved play, but this game, it was all about a really fed Akali versus a Kingzone that was just better as a team than the Afreeca Freecs. So many great moments for Keen, though. It's so sad watching Afreeca lose, because there aren't often games where Keen loses his lane. He often finds himself in fantastic positions, then just doesn't have the teammates to back him up, get that work done.
It's really reminiscent of watching Teddy on Jin Air in the past. He is trapped right now.
We thought that we were going to be giving the Teddy Award over to Ruler, but I actually feel like Keen deserves it.
Yeah, really do. And I think a lot of fans are wondering, where will Keen, will there be some potential off-season type stuff?
How many rulers do you need, Pawn? He needs to have his monitor in exactly the right spot, but that's 3 rulers.
He's coming for Genji.
Yeah, I know. Genji need about that many rulers as well, to be perfectly honest. 1 is not enough. Oh, God.
Oh, man.
But at least Pawn's monitor was in exactly the right spot that game, because he was a gigantic threat. I liked how he used the Realm Warp just to cut off aiming so that he couldn't back into the enemy jungle. Some very cute play here as Akon having a chat to Rascal, as you would, of course. Akon, one of the most famous Korean top laners back in 2014.
Nihon's always happy.
I know. He's always happy.
He really is.
His team just won, so it does make some sense. But you just have a look at him after a game that they lost. He's still just the most psyched guy ever.
It's like, what do you mean, guys? We get to wake up and play League of Legends every day.
I know, right? And he's like, I get to do it from Korea again now. This is great.
King God? Cuz? Oh, King God Cuz.
Well, I mean, that's pretty relevant after that last game.
I only trust Deft.
Well, most of us do. On the side of Kingzone, when it comes to this team, he is the consistent one. That guy on your screen right there, though, he's got a sweet new haircut, and he hasn't been having too many bad games recently.
I don't even play. What?
I'm talking about Pawn, not you.
Oh,
it's not
so
all
the guy
about
on your
you,
screen.
LS.
It was us. What are you?
He was on your screen before. You guys know.
Got his hair dyed. Come on.
Well, we're going to check out some highlights, and these highlights for the beginning are going to look like a Keen win. Unfortunately, he didn't have much of a team.
Yeah, he did not this game. He was doing his best. Got a double kill right here. Tushen a little bit slow on the pull. Allowed Dread to
why
get
do we
away.
say this again? Oh, so sad.
This was really good. This was quite impressive. Especially because once the Shroud would dissipate, Ryze has more than enough HP to tank turret.
And he actually flashes aggressively. Just insane. He was so close to getting 2 kills there.
Right here, this is where Cuz barely managed to actually escape.
He does that twice this game.
Yeah, and just Dread refusing to use Cataclysm. It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
It really is.
Well, King doesn't refuse to use anything.
King doesn't refuse to use anything. He's walking at Ken and says, you need to get back right now. He's like, yes, sir, Keen. Right here.
And now Rascal thinks that he's got him. But that sidestep, just beautiful. And see you, Rascal. Sorry, buddy.
They finally managed to lock him down, though. As highlights do continue. And watch Dread again right here. Refusal to find the R key. I think that he needs some Karthus duty.
He does it now. Yes, and then instantly dies. As Cuz once again survives on 1 health.
Aiming, going way too far over onto the right-hand side. He should have been running into Keen, even if he takes some damage. It would have been a lot better than the positioning that he found himself in. And so there's some really close team fights that had Afreeca piloted them, or piloted their champions a little bit differently. They definitely could have came out on top in.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
and
Slice and Maelstrom, how many times did a barrel knock Rascal out of a fight.
Right.
0 times so far this game. The Cataclysms weren't locking the Kingzone members in so that the ultimate to come out of the perfect execution on the Akali. Yeah, no, see, I told you, he doubled his opponent's damage. But he's Ezreal. So,
he is Ezreal.
I mean, how impressed are we? I think doubling the damage as Camille jungle versus Jarvan is actually a huge deal. Camille, Camille actually worked out very, very well. Level 2 gank, effective from Cuz. It's another example of Cuz leveling up his play. We knew this guy as a bit of a powerhouse in solo queue before he joined Kingzone DragonX at the beginning. I think that was back when they were Longzhu, as Pawn is, of course, going to pick up the MVP.
It's been a
18 KDA on the Rise. Pretty damn good. And 647 damage per minute on a Rise is pretty impressive.
Yeah. The last time Pawn ended up picking up a MVP award was on Lissandra a very long time ago.
Yeah, it was recent. I think it was recent, actually. I think last time we spoke to Kingzone, Pawn did pick up an MVP, and it was his first one. I think so.
You might be right on that. I might be wrong on this one.
Not sure. I'm not 100%, and I often default to you. So let's just assume that you're right, and it was a while ago. However, this is going to be a second, and Deft is still tied with Chovy on that 1200 mark, because this wasn't Deft's day. It was Tucson and Pawn that picked up the MVPs. Normally, it's all about Kingzone getting behind their little alpaca on the bottom side of the map. But this time around, Tucson did some great things apart from that flash, but we don't need to berate him about it anymore.
And speaking about MVP points and being tied, that's Kingzone's next match.
I know.
Who's gonna win MVP award?
Well, this is the thing, right? If Kingzone are actually able to beat Griffin, then it almost guarantees that Deft is going to win, right? Because I don't see Kingzone beating Griffin without
There's a lot
Deft
on the line
off.
for that match.
Oh, yeah. And also it means that Kingzone have the ability to potentially knock SKT out of second place. I mean, there's a lot of things up in the air still here for these guys. It was a long road. It was a 2-1 here against the Afreeca Freecs. Game number 1 made things look a little bit dicey. However, games 2 and 3 weren't even close. It was just Kingzone able to get control once again. Let's hear from the players as we throw it over to Ji-Sun for some interview translation.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Ji-Sun with today's last interview translation. And we're going to be joined by Tucson and Pawn from Kingzone DragonX. This was actually your first 3-set game in second round robin. How was today's series? Well, we always need a victory right now to go to a higher place in the playoff. I mean, it was a messy game, but in the end we got the victory, so it feels really nice. And Pawn, how do you feel about today's victory? Well, game 1, we did lose, but we were able to come back in game 2 and 3. And as Tucson just mentioned, it was a messy game, maybe 30. But I mean, losing is like worse than I mean, at least we got the victory, you know. So what kind of feedback went back and forth after game 1? In game 1, I think none of us had the priority, so we just wanted to guarantee some of the picks with laning priority. And Pawn, so what's your reaction when you saw Anivia coming out on the side of Afreeca? Well, I was in the same team with Sun in the KT roster, and he always it was a Anivia one-trick pony, you know, so I knew that the only card he had in his hand was Anivia, so I was expecting that. I mean, Anivia has to live around mid lane. He cannot really roam, and well, he would have been happy picking up the blue buff twice, but I mean, it wasn't a hard game for me. And I like your new hair, Pawn. It was also a very passionate game on you. And Tucson, game 2, you guys started to gain back your priority. But there were a lot of proactive tries in the bot lane, especially. There were even Kennen roaming down to the bot lane, and you also said it's a very sexy play. So what was exactly going on there? Was that Cuz call? Well, actually, me and Deft was really far, so I told you guys just handle it. But Rascal just said, I'm gonna TP. And then he was like such a tough guy, just killing everybody. So I just wanted to say you were sexy to Rascal with that play.
그 응원에 정말 힘이 났을 것 같아요. 특별히 피드백은 없었나요, 광희 선수가?
What did Rascal say after that? So after game 3, actually told me, like, Rascal just told me, just listen to me, you know? Whenever I just TP, just listen to me.
그런 또 비하인드 스토리가 있었고요. 투신 선수가 쉔으로 정말 좋은 모습 보여주셨는데
And Tusin, your performance on Shen was on point, which is not actually a mainstream. So how do you rate Shen as a support champ right now? I mean, there were a lot of support champs banned out, so I think that was one of the most viable picks in the remaining champions available. And moving on to game number 3, Pun. I mean, the game was really full of actions and there were like a kill per minute. So how do players remain focused during the game? Well, I can't really give specific information, but to be honest, I wasn't really concentrating much, so that ended up having such a game with so many fights and extended game. In game 3, we saw Camille in jungle. It was quite unexpected for us, because he always prefers Camille. He also is a very good Camille player. And in terms of mid and jungle synergy, well, it's not a winning composition, but we knew that in the end we're gonna win. So we just wanted to kind of tolerate the early games. And Pun, your record on Rise is flawless. There's no loss yet. What's so special about your Rise? Well, I mean, there are a lot of fans saying that I am bad at rotations. Well, I've been doing some rotations since 2014, so I'm good at such champions, so I just wanted to show what I'm good at. And the interesting thing is that you chose TP instead of Cleanse. I mean, I saw Choving doing that, and I just copied it. I thought it's really good. So that's why I just went with TP. I think Chovy showed you a very good example of Rise. And there were a lot of fights, team fights and skirmishes, but Keen doesn't seem like dying. Like, it was almost impossible to chase him down. It's really fun to take down Keen because, you know, he was my Formong teammate and his reaction is really funny all the time. I'm always picking on him, so I always want him to die, but it was really tricky today. And Pun. Well, there is the moment where you just killed all the remaining opponents after the team fight. Well, looking at the minimap over there, you were just walking and roaming up. Well, I mean, that was the moment when I lost my concentration. So that's why Ezreal had to die over there. I mean, if I did better, this game wouldn't be so hard for us. Your damage and aiming, you just chunked him down. So how did you use your ultimate over there? I just wanted to follow Kai'Sa, and Kennen said just abandon me, but he actually told me, oh, I have Zhonya, so we were able to just re-engage and take her down. And Pun, your previous interview went viral, because you can just face up against any mid laner in Afreeca, Sun or Yukol. So, any trash talk today? Well, today I actually didn't go with winning champion. I actually had gone with a little bit more like passive Rise and like tanky Rise. And actually in game 1, I was expecting Sun to come to the mid lane and get punched by me. He just ran away. So game 1, I just got punched by Keen, so that was a little bit sad for me.
말씀하셨듯이 그래도 오늘 승리로 가져갔으니까 기분 좋게 인터뷰 마무리하면 좋겠습니다. 투신 선수 마지막으로 이제 남은 경기 어떻게 풀겠다.
How you're going to prepare your upcoming series?
이제 남은 아마 한 경기가 이제 그리핀.
I think we have one game left up against Griffin.
저희가 지금
I mean, we have a very high win rate in second round robin, so I just want to finish the second round robin with an amazing result by taking down Griffin. So this will be the end of the interview with Pawn and Tusin from Kingzone, and I'm going to pass it back to our casters. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jisun, as usual, and thanks, Mina, as well, for that beautiful interview with Pawn and Tusin. And do you reckon they stand a chance up against Griffin? What do you reckon? You casted them last.
I really don't think so.
No?
I actually just don't
That's
think
just
so.
a hard nope.
Yeah.
You're hard noping out of that one. All right.
It is indeed a hard nope. I think that the things that Kingzone are showing such proficiency at are the exact things that Griffin are just better at.
Yeah.
And so I think that they're going to run into a brick wall when they go up against them. Chovy is going to win the MVP of the split.
I think it's probably going to happen, right? Because they're the ones that do have the matchup against Kingzone. We have a feeling that they're going to be able to win. The relegation zone battle is going to continue.
KT, if they lose now, I mean, Afreeca getting that one game.
The one game is really important.
Yeah, it is extremely important.
Because I think as soon as KT lose one more match, they're done.
Yep. So we'll see what ends up happening here. Gen.G, I mean, they're safe.
Yeah, they're fine.
They're pretty much in the clear.
Yeah. We're pretty sure Gen.G is going to be totally fine after winning against the Afreeca Freecs in 2-0 fashion pretty comfortably. That was definitely good news for them. However, next week, Jin versus SKT will be our first one. We'll see whether Jin is going to be able to perform any upsets.
And on Sunday, we go beyond the event horizon of a black hole.
Oh, Jin Green Wings versus Griffin. If you are not there for that pivotal occasion, I don't know what the heck you are thinking. Some other big matches, though. Griffin versus Kingzone on Friday is huge.
That could be the final deciding match for the relegation race.
Yep. And if Hanwha Life are able to take down KT in that particular matchup, then it's likely that KT are going to be going down. Afreeca Freecs won't have to go into promotion. And it could be scary. There's a certain BBQ team. I hear the coach is pretty cool. That could be coming up in that promotion match. No one wants to be down there joining Jin Green Wings. Not all over yet for KT Rolster, but it is all over for us for Week 9. And yeah, it was an interesting series, that last one. Sandbox as well with their 2-0 was comfortable but exciting. And I liked what both teams were doing in our first matchup. But guys, that is going to do it for Week 9. We'll see you for Week 10 on Thursday. Good night.